Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on St. Patty's Day edition of the morning show, right here on Main Street TV, where we have we have several guests here in the studio today, but two friends from Zip Printing here, and we're going to talk about t-shirts and fun stuff like that you guys are doing, which is really cool. And so we have Sean and Mindy. Hey.
Hi.
Happy St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
Where's your green?
My tattoo is green. I'm covered. I'm permanently safe from pets.
I don't think that counts. Does that count?
I'm wearing it.
Oh, you have green right there.
Yeah. Also on this, that's got green. So even if the tattoo didn't cover it,
Mindy?
No, I don't have green.
I'm not pinching her.
I'm not pinching her either because I love her and she's sweet, and I'm not going to do that to her.
You were going to pinch me?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
That's different. No, welcome. We're so happy to have you here. We're going to talk about some cool things that are, what Zip can do in general, but also some cool new things that you all are coming up with. And, it's ever changing, and technology allows us to do fun things. Well, not us. I mean, when I say us, I mean you guys, because y'all do all kind of fun stuff. But we will get to that in just a moment. And then we have Mr. How do I say your last name? Pariseau?
You said it perfect.
Okay, Mr. Pariseau is here, and he wrote a book, and we're going to be talking about that here in just a moment as well, and where you can find the book and all about his upbringing, and it's very, very interesting. So that will be the second part of our program, along with our good friend Pete Wilson, who will be here to tell you the latest and greatest on news. So before we get to our friends here at Zip Printing, we'll have a message, and then we'll be right back.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
All right, and we are back on this St. Patty's Day with our good friends from Zip Printing. And Sean and Mindy are here, and we're going to talk about some fun things that you all have going on. But first, I have an Irish tongue twister for you.
Okay.
You have to say it 5 times fast.
Do I?
I can't say it 1 time fast. Irish wristwatch.
This is dangerous. Irish wristwatch.
If you pause after Irish, I think it's good.
I'm not doing that fast. It's gonna go bad.
It's
Irish wrist.
I know it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Somebody
hard.
told me that the other day, and I'm like, I still can't spit it out. So I came up with this bright idea, though, to do at 6 cents to do a tongue twister series of beers. I think that would be fun.
That would be cool.
And I think Irish wristwatch, because it would be hilarious to hear people try to order it.
Especially after they've already had some. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is just me being sick and twisted and making people have to say tongue twisters to order beer. Isn't that fun?
Absolutely.
Yes.
And they don't get their beer unless they say it right.
Yes.
There you go.
So it could take like 7 times before they can spit it out. Yeah. Anyway, that's neither here nor there, other than it's kind of funny. So, all right. So Zip Printing, I mean, you all do a bazillion things over there, but Mindy, kind of specializes in the t-shirt and printing part of it as far as that goes. And so tell us some of the stuff that you guys have been up to, because they have some new things, like they have this gold, like glitter ink, and you can do 3D and all kind of fun stuff now.
So when you start, you start.
You go ahead.
Okay. So we started experimenting with a couple of different things. One is, we showed this before, but it's still... I'll let you hold that one out there.
I love this one. It's so pretty.
Kind of a fade effect. Now, any one with different colors, they'll all, look different. They won't look exactly the same because it's done. There's a little bit of by hand stuff in there to do that. But
it's art.
It's a really nice effect. Yeah, we do that with different color combinations and stuff. We started messing around with just had the idea randomly of like if you do 3D in print, of course, with the little 3D glasses and stuff.
Yeah,
And we
and in
thought-
like in movies and all of that,
like
right?
we could do that with shirts, and so you're taller. So we started doing it with shirts, and this actually does work with the little 3D glasses.
Yeah,
So-
it doesn't show up as well here as it does in real life. There's actually like a red and a blue around the black, and then when you put the glasses on, it's like it doesn't
Yeah.
show up as well here.
It does actually pop, yeah. We got an echo. But it does actually pop, and it does actually work with 3D glasses.
Yes,
so we're still
it does.
Kind of working that out. But
I've seen it with my own eyes.
I actually think it looks pretty cool without the 3D glasses.
yeah,
Yeah.
even
It
without
looks
the
neat
glasses,
like
it's a
this,
nice
but-
effect. Yeah,
Yeah,
with
definitely.
the glasses, it actually pops pretty well.
yeah. So if anybody's curious about getting their emblem with something like that on there, you can give us a holler. We can talk to you about getting
How
some
did
of
you
those.
figure that out?
The idea popped into my head with all the other weird stuff that I think of, and I'm like, what if we could do that on shirts? And then Mindy's a scientist here with this, so it was just a matter of getting the right shade of red and blue and the right offset for how far in the spacing and stuff.
Yeah, at first I had the offset really small and it wasn't working very well.
Oh, okay.
So as soon as we pushed the blue and the red out from the black,
Gotcha.
it actually started popping out.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Messed around with a couple of different designs, and it all looks really cool when it turns.
Other
out
than
right.
you have to walk around with 3D glasses on.
Yeah. Don't wear
But no,
those all
you're
day
right.
unless you want a migraine to go with your T-shirt. but
Oh
still,
God.
Yeah.
It was like all of us walking around with those solar eclipse glasses on.
It would be pretty cool for movie theaters though.
Mm-hmm.
If they have a 3D movie and they want T-shirts with the movie,
Yeah,
that would be a pretty cool thing.
that would be because you'd have the glasses on anyway.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I remember, didn't they do Jaws in 3D or something at one point?
I think so. Yeah.
That's terrifying. I still have nightmares as being a little girl watching Jaws and just normal. I don't need that to.
Jaws was one of the first, like horror movies that I saw when I was a kid. So I'm sure that didn't affect me at all. It's fine.
No, this
It's
is
fine.
why I have nightmares to this day. It's fine. And I won't swim in a pool even at night.
You're fine until you hear that theme song in the back of your
Yeah.
head. Those da da, and then
Yeah.
you're like,
I'm
oh,
like,
we're
oh my
done.
God, there's a
done.
shark in here somewhere. I know it.
Time to go. Yep.
It's going to get me.
And the other thing we've been kind of messing around with is the, like you mentioned, the gold glitter. So we did one for our
Okay,
Radio
that
station,
is
Pure Rock.
super cool.
and the camera doesn't do it justice. Give it a little turn.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
And the cameras don't do it justice, but it looks
You see it on there,
fantastic.
it's
Yeah.
actually shimmering a little bit.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool.
And then when we were kind of testing out with some different designs, when we were working the bits out of this, we did one for our friends over at Broadway Blooms.
And
And
that was the first one that I saw, and it is awesome.
yeah, they turned out really, really nice.
It doesn't hurt that both of those logos are just really pretty and cool
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they stand out pretty well.
Yeah. So if any business, if you want shirts done for your business logo, want the gold glitter effect. We're also working on like silver glitter as well,
Yeah.
but the gold looks so nice.
It does. It's so classy but it's like just fun too.
It
Yeah.
is.
Like-
It is.
I'm
It
shining.
stands out a lot.
It does. And so I was over talking with Mindy the other day about our shirts because they do all of our shirts for the brewery here at. Well, this is funny because we have a green screen, right? So, so yeah, there's our beer club T-shirts.
What was the joke that I
Oh,
made?
you
that
can
like
see it a little bit.
Yeah, you can kind of see it
that I
there.
made the joke earlier that this one shirt is for John Cena.
Yes. It's so funny. But no, and they look fantastic, so thank you for that. But I was over there talking with Mindy the other day, and you were showing me the different colors of glitter and stuff. So you don't just have the gold, you
Oh
have...
no. I have silver gunmetal, white. Is there any other ones?
I don't know.
I think there's another one. I have amethyst shimmer.
This is like a deep purple,
Yeah,
super
it's
pretty.
beautiful.
So if you're a big Prince fan,
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, and a blue shimmer.
Yeah.
Yep.
We have blue shimmer as well.
Yep.
Yeah. And if I don't have it, we can see if we can get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm fairly certain we can probably get like I don't want to say this and have anybody hold me to it, but we can probably get about any color in the glitter
Yeah.
that we need. But yeah, the glitter shirts look really super nice. Again, on camera it doesn't quite do it justice, but when you see it in person, you can see
Oh,
how
it's
shiny
yeah,
it is.
it's just like shimmers and catches the light. It's so pretty.
If you're thinking about getting any of those and you want to see what they look like in person, come down to the Total Media office and we'll bring one out so you can take a look at it.
Absolutely. And that's the cool thing about you guys always have examples of new things that you're trying and
Oh, yeah.
some samples and like the butterfly shirt and all that. I remember I think at work one day and you had texted me that. You're like, what do you think? I'm like, I think that's so cool. Oh my gosh. Great job.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really neat. So how do you, so the fun thing about Mindy too is that you have actually started mixing colors. So if your business has anything on the, what's that scale called? Or the
Pantone.
the Pantone, any Pantone color, she can actually mix it for
Yes.
you.
Yes,
Because
I
a lot of people have, a special color that they use for logos and that kind of stuff.
If I can't find it that we can order, I can actually try to mix it.
That's pretty cool.
I couldn't find the scarlet color I needed for the 3D, so I just started mixing until I found the right color. And that's how I got the 3D effect, is mixing the cyan and the scarlet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So all kind of fun stuff. It's like if you can come up with it in your brain, they can figure out how to do it. Is it?
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
try. We'll definitely try because some of the stuff that we're doing now is just like an idea that we had to let's try this and throw it at the wall, see what sticks.
So-
and it works out good.
The problem is we all get together back there and we come up with ideas that some are not appropriate for discussion here on the. We've come up with some sayings, haven't we?
Can either confirm or deny.
Yeah. We've come up with some like funny T-shirt sayings and we're like, never mind, we probably
Yeah.
shouldn't do this.
That one won't work. Yeah.
It would be real. It's really funny, but it wouldn't work. So tell us a little bit. So Sean, what is your official title?
Manager of Zip Printing.
Manager of Zip Printing. So let's talk for a minute about obviously the T-shirts and it's not just T-shirts or sweatshirts that you can screen print as well. What are some of the other things that you can do, Mindy?
We do long sleeve shirts, short sleeve shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts.
Tote bags, right?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can do canvas bags. I'm trying to think.
And we can do, as far as color range, we can screen print on anything up to 5 colors.
Yeah, 5 colors.
If you got more than 5 colors, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Now I can do 6 colors on a lighter shirt, but I can only do 5 on a darker because we need that underbase.
Yeah.
So the fibrillation, I don't know if I'm saying that word right.
Is that the
but
thing they put on your heart to bring you back to
Yeah, I
life?
think so.
Okay.
it's the fibers that go through the ink
Okay.
when it goes through the heater. So yeah, 5 on dark shirts, 6 on light shirts.
Okay, very
color
cool.
amount.
So if you have like a really extensive logo,
Yeah,
you can do that as well.
yeah. Just get a hold of us. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, and I think that's the main thing is you just figure it out.
Yeah.
Why not? So, all right. So, Sean, what are some of the other things that people may or may not know about zip printing?
As far
That
as
y'all can do.
some of the products and stuff we can do.
Yeah, absolutely.
We can actually do if you need a billboard, like vinyl covering for a billboard, we can do that size. So we can do.
You can do that big?
Uh huh.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
We can do billboard stuff. We do. You need pop-up banners for conventions. We do that stuff too. Any type of vinyl lettering for your storefront windows or logos, stuff like that.
And we've utilized all of that. And you all did, because, with a brewery comes doing a lot of beer festivals and events and things like that. Well, when you do that, you need branding and you need pop-up tents and because most of that stuff happens in the summer, let's just be honest.
Yeah.
And it gets a bit hot outside. So you all did a beautiful pop-up tent and table cloth and backdrop and stuff for us. And it was funny the first time we went somewhere and we put it up and Jamie and I were looking around, we're like, ours looks so good. So So if you need, a pop-up tent for your business or whatever, that can be designed and done as well. And then, like you said, the open signs or the flags out front, all that stuff.
All that stuff, yeah.
And so here's the fun part is, again, I came to Sean during the Apple Festival and I said, hey, we all know that parking's an issue at the Apple Festival. I'm like, I need parking passes for our staff members so that we know who's supposed to be in the lot and who's not supposed to be in the lot. And he said, I have these hang tag things. And I was like, what? Because I was just thinking about having you print like a thing to stick on the dash. And remember? And you were like, no, I've got these like hang tag things.
Yeah,
and I
like
was
door hangers and stuff. Yeah.
I was like, what? So he was like, yeah, look. And I was like, perfect. And it hung right up on the rear view mirror and it worked out perfectly. And you had those done for us in no time. You do our menus for us. There's all kind of great things. Posters,
foam board, brochures, yep. We can do menus on, like, we have a thicker, for the most part, like water resistant, paper. Yeah.
which that's what I have you do for ours because you can actually wipe them. And, because if you're just printing on paper, obviously, if somebody spills something, that's the end of that.
Yeah.
So it works out really, really well. And you guys have all that. And I call and whine and they make it happen.
Yeah.
Because typically I can't think of anything, before 5 minutes before I need it.
That's a lot of people. It's okay. 'Cause we're used to that. It's fine.
They just have to look at me every day. So they're like, oh, no, here she is again.
Well, they have to deal with me too. So,
So let's talk for a minute about some of the, if you do have maybe a really funky, extensive logo, you can actually order transfers, though, that look like screen printing. So talk about that for a minute, because I know sometimes with screen printing, it does kind of, with a lot of colors, has its challenges, but you all can order a press-on transfer that actually looks
yeah.
fairly like it's screen printed.
Yeah, we can do, if, like, the screen printing is kind of meant for larger numbers of shirts to be cost effective. But, like, if it's something in smaller number, but you still want that screen printing look and feel, we can do transfers that can simulate the look and feel of screen printing. And again, we have physical examples that if you want to see the difference, you can come down and we can bring out some physical examples so you can see and feel the difference. But those transfers are ones that we do that they very closely replicate the feel and screen printing.
They do. They look amazing. And you all did some baby onesies for us for the tap room because people kept asking for them, and they turned out beautifully. And then we did some little dog shirts with those transfers because they're so small that you can't get them do the screen printing because you don't. They're just little.
It worked out well, though.
It did.
Yeah.
It did.
They worked out really cute. So if you're interested in a shirt for your dog or a onesie for your baby, you can get those too.
And we have a lot of conventions, like speaking for myself too, like the comic conventions and stuff around the area, like RaptorCon in Athens, Final Boss Con in Rio Grande, Parkersburg PopCon, a lot of the ones that are within, an hour drive or so. They're kicking in this year, so if you need, table coverings or foam standees or, new banners for conventions and stuff for craft shows, we can do those.
Basically, if you see any kind of signage or whatever, and you see something that you like, just take a picture of it and bring it in, and I'll bet you guys can figure it out.
We can figure it out, yeah. We've had a lot of cell phone pictures brought in that we're like, okay, we can try to work something out with this, yeah.
Yep.
Whether it's using the file that you have, to create something, or whether it's recreating, the image or something similar. There's a lot of options.
Yeah, and that's the cool part is, there are in-house graphic designers here as well that can come up with all kind of stuff. So, yeah, it's a good thing. So if somebody wants to come in, see all the things that Zip Printing has to offer, what do they do?
You come to Stockmeister Plaza behind Burger King and come to the front desk and tell them to yell for me, and they will throw something at me, and then I will bring up stuff.
It's so simple. Or you can call 740-286-3023.
Or you can do that. That's less fun, but yeah. People enjoy throwing things at me more than they do calling, but you know.
You don't get to see us in person if you do that.
Right.
But no, but it is fun to come back and actually get back into Zip and see some of the examples of the fun things that you all can do. Like I know y'all printed envelopes for me the other day. It's a pain in the butt, but y'all did it.
Yep.
And I
Carbon
appreciate
copy
that.
forms for different businesses. If you need, carbon copy receipts or invoices, we can do those. Like Mindy said, brochures, door hangers, hanging tags in cars.
What about those banners you did not too long ago?
Which banners? We do a lot of
Those
banners.
ones we measured the other day.
Oh gosh, yeah, we're doing I quoted a banner that was about 17 feet wide with rope, embedded in it to come out the sides for hanging up between posts. Banners of various types and sizes with pole pockets, grommets for hanging, rope.
And that's the cool thing too. Even if you get like the foam board or what's that called, coroplast.
If like the yard signs, coroplast,
Yeah.
and then there's like foam board signs.
Like you guys did some of those for us for the Apple Festival of like don't park here, or I'm calling Ron's garage kind of thing.
Yeah, business cards, yard signs.
It was about that nice.
Yeah.
Sean wouldn't let me put really what I wanted to say. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't.
No, I wanted to see it happen. Trust me, I did. I really did.
Park here, try me.
Yeah.
No, I'm just teasing. But no, that's wonderful. Zip printing here for you, all of the fun stuff, and keep up the good work. And these are local people doing great things here locally that you can actually talk to and see and chat with, and they'll go out of their way to help you out.
Yep.
Yeah.
So very good. All right. Is there anything else you want to tell our viewers while you're here?
Not that I can think of. I think I just said everything that was in my brain to say. Yeah.
I doubt that.
No, not yeah. As soon as I said that, I'm like, nope, no, that's wrong.
I know how Sean thinks.
Yeah.
Oh, Cheryl says weddings and graduation stuff.
Yes, absolutely. Weddings and graduations as well. So if you have, invitations for weddings, table tents, for the reception, things like that, banners, yard signs to direct, people when they're telling what place
That's
to
a
go to.
good point too.
Oh, you just did save the date.
Oh yeah, we
too.
can save the date stuff. Yeah.
Yep. So any of the, programs or invitations, all that stuff you guys can do also, right? Mm-hmm. Yep. And graduation, you can do fun yard signs. Like a lot of people do that for their graduates.
We did the cutout heads too, like on sticks. People hold up in the stands. We do those. We had someone recently was asking about like if we can do like one of the giant, ridiculously large foam board checks, like the fake checks to hand out for a prize or something. We do those.
That makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there you go. Zip printing. Just stop by or give them a call. They'll hook you right up, I promise.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, well, thank you, too, for stopping by, and thank you for always doing great work, because we appreciate you.
Thank you for having us.
Of course. All right, well, we will be back after this message with our next guest, who is an author and wrote this fantastic book, and we're going to find out all about it and how you can get a copy.
This just in.
The Telegram News has a new website.
TheTelegramNews.com.
Same dedicated coverage.
Same trustworthy news with a brand new look.
Covering Jackson and Benton counties and surrounding areas.
Locally owned and operated, TheTelegramNews.com has its finger on the pulse of the community.
Stay up to date on local events, high school sports, and breaking news.
TheTelegramNews.com.
Subscribe today at TheTelegramNews.com.
Check it out.
Saturday, August 16th is Southern Rock Woodstock in the Gallipolis Fairgrounds. This event will feature 3 decades of original artists and legends, such as Leonard Skinner, 38 Special, and Molly Hatchet. In light of this event, Total Media will be giving away 4 VIP tickets. For a chance to win these exclusive passes, comment your favorite Southern Rock song, and our staff will vote on which one is the best. Good luck, and may the best man rock out.
All right, and we are back with our Disney loving friend here. That's so cute. That's a good way to get to Cheryl's heart, too, because she's a Disney lover.
That's what I heard. My granddaughter took her children to Disney World. They'd be my great-grandchildren. I hate to say that because I'm not that old. Came back with this shirt. So.
I love it. So good. Very, very good. Okay, so tell everyone, introduce yourself if you would.
Okay. I'm Jonathan. I go by John Pariseau. And Pariseau is the French word for lazy. I found that out whenever I was in college.
Is it really?
Yep. Or it's a variation of it, I guess.
How funny.
When I was adopted at the age of around 7 or 8, my last name was Ice. Don't slip on the ice. But it was changed, of course, to Pariseau. And I had a heck of a time learning how to spell it and say it.
I'll bet.
But when I get into college, French 101, Madame Andre took roll call, and she said my name, and I said, here, and she said, your last name's French. Do you know what that means? And I said, no, I'm here to learn French. And she said, it's the French word for lazy. And I told her that'd be my excuse in her class.
Exactly.
But that's my name. I grew up here in Jackson County, off of 93 there in Glenroy.
Okay.
Mom and Dad, Dennis and Donna Pariseau, they're both passed. They adopted, last count, I believe I'm one of 18 kids.
Wow.
If you're familiar with Glenroy, it's real small. But,
yeah, how'd you get 18 people in Glenroy?
Well, Mom and Dad, they adopted a baby. Then they adopted another baby and a third baby, and then they adopted me and 3 of my siblings. There's a total of 5. The youngest didn't get adopted with us. And then they adopted some more siblings, and it just grew and grew and grew. And it's a very diverse family. I got brothers who are of different races, sisters who are of different races, and it was a great family to grow up in. I graduated Wellston High School in 1984 with one of the employees here, Chris Hendry.
God help you.
And then he and I went on to Berea College together, Berea in Kentucky, and
yes.
we both graduated there as well.
So besides writing obviously a book, and we'll get to that in a second, what have you been doing?
What have I been doing?
Since Berea College.
Since Berea. My first...
What did you study there besides French?
Well, believe it or not, Spanish and a lot of psychology courses. And I didn't know how Spanish would be helpful to me until I actually got into the workforce.
Sure.
My first job out of college was up in Pennsylvania, residential treatment center for juveniles, males. Most of them were adjudicated there by the courts. I ran a cottage supervising, I think there were about 10 boys at most in the cottage. And then I went to a more secure facility, special needs group. It was kind of reminded me of a prison or jail where you had to buzz your way in and buzz your way out and all that. And then Mom and Dad, Dennis Pariseau, Donna Pariseau, they're both deceased. They divorced, and here in Jackson, and I wanted to get closer to home.
I see.
My dad went back to his hometown area up in Newport, New Hampshire, so I took on a job in Portsmouth. And I worked there for close to 30 years, a licensed social worker.
Okay.
And so I was able to continue in the field of trying to help people.
Did your upbringing influence that?
I think a lot of it did. Now, as a social worker, if I'm talking to someone and they come to me with certain issues they want to talk to, obviously it's about them, and I can't share with them the way I can share with everyone else my personal things that have happened, but I was able to relate to a lot of what I heard, unfortunately.
I'll bet.
Yeah, I was able to relate.
Gives you a lot of empathy for what they're dealing with.
A lot of empathy. Yeah. And one thing that sticks with me over the years when I worked as a social worker, there was a gentleman, and he was about my age at the time, still be my age today. He told me he has abandonment issues, and I went on and asked him why, and he said when he was a baby, which again, he was about my age, both of his parents walked away from him. And I'm thinking that could be my story. That could be my story. But the similarity stopped there because I explained to him, I said, in life's journey, my opinion, there's no reverse. It's forward with turns, right, left. But after talking to him, I realized there's also neutral because he was living in neutral. He didn't take advantage of everything life could have offered to him. Relationships, working, no children, no grandchildren, no great-grandchildren at a young age. And I was jokingly talking to a lady I work with. She encouraged me to write this book as well. And I'll give her first name, Carissa. She's down in Portsmouth. I said, abandonment issues. And she goes, you don't have abandonment issues, you've got commitment issues.
Yeah, so it's a different thing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I get where you're coming from with that. So let's talk about the book that you wrote there, and when did you write it, and what prompted you to?
Okay. When did I write it? It seems like time flies. It's been at least maybe 2 to 3 years ago I started writing.
Okay.
And the reason being, again, I was adopted at the age of 7, about 7 or 8. The adoption was finalized here in Jackson County over at the courthouse. And people that would get to know me, they would always, they'd find out bits and pieces. He was adopted. Biological mother, I call her by her first name. I don't call her my mom because she's really not my mom. My mom is Donna Pariseau. And
do you know your biological mother?
I met her. I had the chance to meet her before she passed. I intentionally wanted to wait until I was like an adult to meet her.
It makes sense.
So I waited till I was out of college.
Be a little better equipped to deal with the situation?
Yeah, because even though my adopted mother said she would be all for it, I don't think she was happy with the fact that I met Sally. Sally's her first name, my biological, the lady that gave birth to me. But I thought, if I wait till I'm 21, I'm an adult. I just graduated college. I won't have anyone to pull, like birth mom, adopted mom. I wouldn't have anyone to, pressure me either way. I can go and leave and.
Because you're your own human at that
My
point,
own person. As a matter of fact, the lady that gave birth to me was trying to apologize for walking off. And I remember telling her, it's not me you need to apologize to, it's that 5-year-old boy, because I was 5 at the time. So yeah, I had a chance to meet her. But everyone that got to know me, I lost track of the number of times that they would say, you need to tell your story. And, I couldn't, back in high school, I couldn't tell it. In college, I was too busy being a college student and extracurricular activities and all that. And couldn't tell it. So as my career as a social worker was coming to an end, I thought now would be the perfect time to tell it.
Sounds great.
My friend that was one of many that encouraged me to tell my story. We became a member of the church that she attends there in Sciotaville, Ohio. And I mentioned in the book my attendance hasn't been good. I said my last name's Pariseau, lazy. My first name, Jonathan, I was told means a gift from God. So I'm a lazy gift from God. So I probably have an excuse, I guess. But she also told me to, tell your story. And I was sitting in church one day, actually probably the last time I'd been to the church, and that's when I wrote the book. And the pastor said, we all have a story to tell. And, and he
was talking to you, wasn't he?
I thought, you know what, that's true. He talked about his brother and how his brother shared his own personal experiences overcoming different things. But when I sat and I heard those words, I thought I've heard those words throughout my entire life. But I thought about them differently. Maybe I'm more mature. I thought, I owe it to people to tell my story. I have a responsibility to tell that story. Sally, the lady that gave birth to me, didn't leave me with any anything tangible. But she sure left me with a lot that I could share with others, and that was the emotional scars that I went through. And that's what the book is called, Scarred, Healing and Moving Forward. It talks about, I talk about emotional scars as compared to physical scars. I'd like to meet someone, I don't know if there's someone out there that has no physical scars from living. I've got them. And I think more of us than would want to admit also have emotional scars.
Oh, yes.
How many people say, hey, I know where I was at 9/11, exactly what I was doing. How many people say, I remember where I was when Kennedy was assassinated. Mm-hmm. And that was all right before I was born, so I didn't get that. But I've heard that story a lot throughout my life.
Yes.
And so I thought, I'll talk about my own emotional scars and how I chose to deal with them. And I didn't want to live in neutral. I'm happily married. I've raised children. I've got grandchildren, great-grandchildren. I've worked in a very rewarding, satisfying career. So, but it took me trying to figure out how I'm going to deal with those emotional scars. And I have 5 siblings, or 4 siblings. I'm one of 5 biological siblings. And I can see in each of us how we've dealt with those emotional scars. And I was fortunate enough to find out I have a half-sister actually, who lives in Pennsylvania. I met her when I met Sally. She was only a teenager at the time. She's older now. She and I were just texting yesterday.
Wow.
And I also ended up, through ancestry, my wife, Kim, has always wanted me to find my baby brother that wasn't adopted with me and my siblings. And I remember the ride home to that big house on the top of the hill in Glenroy, and Mom, it just hit me. I asked her, I said, where's Billy? Because Bill was the youngest. And she said, well, we wanted to get you all, but someone else wanted a baby. And so they adopted him out to this couple. Well, I've since had a chance to meet him. He was very fortunate to have the parents that he's had.
Good.
And I found out just a couple weeks ago, he's 53. His mother called me and said that he passed away a couple weeks ago. Yeah. Which then brings me to a whole lot of other issues. She said she believes he had a heart attack. My younger brother, a year younger than me, I call him Pick in the book, partner in crime, because I guess I was pretty mischievous, and he was the one that I would always bring along with me. But Pick, he's been going through, Mark, a lot of heart problems, and he's having a lot of work done in the hospital.
Okay.
So
you're that genetic component of it is, comes into play.
Absolutely. That's what Jody, my sister that I was telling you about in Pennsylvania, she said there could be a family history of that stuff.
Sure.
Now, myself, I've got ulnar neuropathy. My brother, Mark, has some heart problems. I had to have lower back surgery. All this stuff hit me in my 50s. Mm-hmm. Had I known that, hey, this is coming, maybe I could have taken more steps to prepare for it.
Sure.
So I kind of wish people that are adopted, I hate to compare it to buying a car, but if you buy a car, you'd kind of like to know the history, how many owners, how many miles.
And that's fair. And honestly, with Ancestry and the genetic testing and all of that stuff now that's available, I mean, that's so helpful.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
Absolutely. So,
well, let's talk about the book, because Pete's here to do some news too. And God knows, I'm sure that there's been some craziness happen over the weekend in this county, because that's just what happens. But
I got a picture of a swing set that fell over in my yard because of this wind.
Oh, it's been crazy. Absolutely.
That's what I was welcomed with yesterday.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's a big swing set to fall over.
Yeah, and it didn't blow over a plastic chair I had sitting there, but it blew that.
Go figure. So when you wrote this book, what are you hoping that people get out of it?
What I want people to get out of it, first of all, sadly, there are still children in Child Protective Service custody going through foster care, and that are at a young age trying to figure out, where am I going to go from here? What's going to happen in my life? I want them to realize I've been there and there is hope. I'm not anyone special. I'm not a success or anything, but I think in dealing with the emotional scars, and I call it healing because I don't think you're ever healed. Maybe
You're healing.
You're healing.
Yeah. Always.
You know, people tell me, I like to think I have a sense of humor, but they say you probably laugh to hide the real you. You don't have to talk about anything serious if you're laughing. So I took a chance and shared some serious things. And I just want people to realize, you know, life isn't a bed of roses. Enjoy the good, take advantage of it, but also take the hits. You know, there's physical scars. You know, athletes, professional athletes, how many times do you hear about them getting injured and then the steps they take to prevent that certain part of the body from getting injured again, taping it up so much. Some people find ways to deal with their emotional scars, hiding behind a sense of humor.
Sure.
You know, just take the hits and learn from them. That's basically what I want people to realize. And don't be like the gentleman I was telling you about, who still today would probably say he has abandonment issues.
And is stuck in neutral.
Move forward.
You know, and you're exactly right about that. My husband and I talk about this a lot. And then, you know, I was fortunate enough to you know, grew up in a loving home.
Did you grow up here in Jackson County?
Mm-hmm,
Okay, good.
But we talk about that because if you're not moving forward, if you're stuck in neutral, to me, you're moving backwards.
Yeah.
And that's in your career. That's emotionally. I mean, there's so many things that you can put that into. So moving forward is what we need to be doing.
Yeah.
And
make turns along the way, but you can't go backwards. I brought the book in with me. I'm the little boy here on the couch. Pick is this boy. He said he didn't want his face blacked out. I tried to protect identities of my siblings, but Mark, my brother Mark, he and I have been through it all. He said, don't black my face out. He didn't care for me to talk about him.
Sure.
But that's me when I was, 5 years old, and this is me now. Even though that guy was living in neutral, I'm sure his physical body, it doesn't stop. I mean, he looked way different, but he was still living at that time, and I've moved on from that time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's 4 of us there. Now, my youngest brother, Billy, had just been born, but he wasn't in the picture. And it turns out, I guess, that picture was taken the day that Sally, the lady that gave birth to me, the day she walked off and left all of us. She took that picture. So, you know, the more I thought about it, especially that day in church, I really need to tell my story.
Love that.
When my journey on earth is over, if I hadn't said a word, I probably messed up. You know, I owe it to others to tell them, hey, there is hope.
There you go.
And all of us, all 5 of us, then come to find out my sister Jody, who Sally had her after she walked away from 5 other children. We've all found ways to cope and deal with. You know, talking to my sister in Pennsylvania, I think she probably would have been harmed the most because Sally didn't walk off on her, she raised her. And my sister had to deal with that, and I'm sure she's got her own emotional scars, but she's a wonderful person, wonderful person. I've had a chance to visit with her her boyfriend, live-in partner, I guess. I don't know why they're not married, but that's another thing.
Hey.
That's another thing she and I have in common. My
It's
wife.
2025. Who cares?
Well, my
right?
wife and I have been together for over 30 years, but we've only been married for about 6. And call it whatever, the commitment issues or whatever. But Jody and Brad, I was joking with Jody saying, you know, I'm ready to come to your all's wedding, and she said, I don't know when that'll be. I think, well, it's probably about time, you know.
Oh, heck. Well, good. So, because we do need to get to Pete, how do people get your book or get to read it?
Okay. You can Google it by the title, Scarred, Healing and Moving Forward. Dorrance Publishing, Dorrance. They have it online. You could get it from them. You could also get it on Amazon, Walmart, Barnes & Nobles. Right now,
Any of your book places.
yeah. And right now, Premium Book Consultants, they're working to develop a website for me where people can go to my website. And it's not done yet, but I will share it when it is done. People can go to my website and get the book there. And then I guess what I do like about that is I could also, you know, blog with people. They can blog with me. We can talk.
Sure.
I was the shyest student in high school. I'm not so shy anymore, but I do enjoy talking. That's one thing my granddaughter will point out. Man, you talk too much. But yeah, you can
Awesome.
Google it by the title and you'll find it, and you can get it that way. Eventually, you can go to my website, Jonathan Pariseau, and get it directly from my website. So.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing your story with
Sure.
us, and it's been very, very wonderful meeting you.
It's
and,
been great meeting you. It's been-
I hope that if one person, as we say, can read this book and maybe get some motivation or know that they're not alone and maybe can move forward.
Yeah.
That's what we want. So,
Do I have time to tell a quick joke?
Pete, is that okay?
I'm ready to laugh.
Okay, we're ready to
And
laugh.
I've cleaned it up because I know
Can
it's
you
morning.
say Irish wristwatch?
Irish wristwatch.
It's hard,
You know,
isn't it?
my brother, who's a bit older than me, I was told he and I are, and this might be insulting to the Irish, we're Irish twins, and I didn't even know what that meant.
Oh.
He and I are the same age from December 5th to December 9th, and December 9th, he becomes a year older than me.
Uh-huh.
He's 60. I'll be 60 December 5th. We'll be the same age. So I guess that's what an Irish twin means.
I didn't know
the
that
same-
either.
I didn't know it until then.
All right.
But yeah, the joke, it's a social work joke, and I've told it before to people I worked with. So if any of you are listening, I'm sorry about that. But I'm going to substitute words, okay? And adults probably know what word they could put in there. Darn, you could put an adult word in there. Freaking, you could put an adult word in there. Butt or buttocks, you could put another adult word in there. But there was this social worker, John, was talking to a lady, her name happened to be Cheryl, and she complained to John that she has 3 teenage boys, Pete, Chris, and I think Adrian, is that right?
Yes, I believe it
Adrian.
is.
And they all cussed and said bad words. And so John suggested, why don't you have them write 100 times that they will not swear? Well, she said that didn't work. Well, try a timeout. That didn't work. Finally, John was just getting frustrated, and he said, you know, I hate to suggest this, but I think the next time any of them say a bad word, just haul off and slap them. Well, one day she called him down for breakfast. Adrian, she called him down. What would you like for breakfast, Adrian? Adrian says, well, I'd like some of those darn cornflakes. Well, she hauled off and slapped him, and by that time, Pete and Chris were looking at their brother thinking, wow. Well, then she calls Pete down, and she says, Pete, what are you going to have for breakfast? And he said, I don't know. Give me some of those freaking cornflakes. Well, she hauled off and slapped him, and by that time, Chris is just, he's amazed. I mean, his two brothers just got slapped, and so she calls him down. What are you going to have for breakfast, Chris? And Chris says, I don't know, but you can bet your sweet butt it ain't going to be those darn cornflakes.
Very good. Love it.
And it was great talking to you.
It was wonderful meeting you, Jonathan Pariseau. Please come back if anything changes or you want to.
Maybe I'll update you. I got Cheryl's email. Whenever the website is out there, I can let you know about that.
There
so
you
people
go.
Can go directly to my website.
Very good. All right. Well, we have another message, and then we'll have Pete come on over. So we'll be right back.
Did you know Jackson is home to a locally owned and operated full-service print shop? Zip Printing covers all your print, signage, and design needs. From business cards, booklets, and posters to yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, oversized signage, and more. We can help you or your business advertise and look good doing it. Zip Printing also offers logo design. Allow us to assist you in building or elevating your brand today. Zip Printing is located in the Stockmeister Plaza at 708 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio. So stop in or give us a call at 740-286-3023. Did you know Jackson is home to a locally owned and operated?
All right, and we are back with Pete Wilson and some news.
All right. Okay. Unfortunately, Jennifer, we did have kind of like a tragic happening over the weekend to kind of top our news report. This happened actually Friday afternoon at a 5 Points Road residence that is in Scioto Township, mobile home up on a hill. Fire reported there.
Oh no!
About 1:34 p.m. And of course, here is the scene that Jeremiah Shaver, one of the scenes that Jeremiah Shaver got when he ran out there, because we heard the initial word was fully engulfed structure fire with possible entrapment, which means somebody might be inside a structure. So, big deal. Multiple fire departments called. Here is probably a picture that shows it the best we could. You know, there's smoke and haze, so you can't see things real well. But in the back, you can see it's the form of a mobile home actually back there. It was a mobile home that was on fire in a wooded area, brushy area up there on top of a hill, made it a little bit difficult to fight the fire. But here was the tragedy beyond just the fact that the fire occurred. The lady who lived there, and one thing that we don't have, we did track down most of the information. So far, the fire departments that reported the situation officially for our news have not been able to determine the name of that residence, but it is an older female.
Okay.
She was outside burning trash, just outside her trailer. And there was an explosion in the fire, and they think that it was from an aerosol can that was in the fire.
Yeah.
You don't do that. You don't have aerosol cans in fire because of the pressure and the substances inside. The speculation is, and I'm not sure, maybe it's more than speculation, the thought was she was there alone, nobody witnessed this. The fire got onto her clothes when this aerosol can exploded, because it can sound like a major explosion.
It scares the tar out of you.
When Jeremiah was out there, and this is, at least 15, 20 minutes after the initial call, maybe even more than that, because it's a little bit of a drive out there. When he was climbing up the hill, getting near the fire for his photos, he heard that same explosion. He thought it was something more like a propane tank exploding or something, and he got out of there. That could be really dangerous. But she caught fire, as bad as that is. A neighbor either was nearby, heard her cry, saw the smoke, whatever. Male neighbor came over, put the fire out, got her out of there, got her to an EMS ambulance, which arrived. They took her to Holzer Medical Center Jackson, just down 32 there, and they flew her to a regional hospital. Her burns have been described as serious, very serious. Have not heard a follow-up on how she might be doing, but anyway, the fortunate part, other than, of course, her injuries, which we have heard are serious, haven't got any report from the hospital or anything since then. but they were able to save the mobile home. This is according to the
Interesting,
official
okay.
fire report. There was damage outside on the porch because the fire started outside the trailer
Okay.
in a trash fire, okay? And most of the interior was expected to have minimal or no, maybe even no damage. There was fire on the outside of the home where the back porch was. Now, we have very dry conditions right now.
Yes,
And
we
have
do.
very windy conditions right now. So there was a brush/grass fire that had to be dealt with, spread over 4 to 5 acres. And the fire
Oh my
departments that were
gosh.
there, Scioto Township, Liberty Township, Jackson, I think Stockdale was there. I think those were the 4 fire departments that were there. The sheriff's office, of course, EMS was there. They brought the helicopter into Holzer, but the cause of the fire is believed to be the trash fire getting out of containment there when the aerosol cans exploded. There were more than one that exploded, but there was one that exploded, when she was minding the fire there.
Now you're not supposed to be burning right now, right, Pete?
Yes, we are in this is the state of Ohio, and in the state of Ohio, starting March the 1st, I don't think it goes all the way through the summer, but it's in certain of the months in the spring and then also in the fall.
Yes.
This is when, it's not green anymore, and it's dry, and it's brown. And before, and oftentimes, when there's not a lot of rain going on or whatever,
Right.
it can happen in the spring and the fall. And until this past weekend, it was pretty dry for a whole week there. And so, no outdoor burning in unincorporated areas. Locals can do that prohibition, but it is a state prohibition. It is in force anyway.
Sure.
So, yes, the corollary to this tragic story is, outdoor burning, you cannot do it. You cannot do it, between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m.
And I know, a lot of people burn their trash and whatnot, so this is not unusual. It's just tragic.
Right, but we do have that report. If we can follow up with more information on her condition and a name, we will do that. But the address, we did get that as 1499 5 Points Road.
Okay.
And that is in Scioto Township. Okay, real quickly, we also just want to tell you about Basketball Mania, because that was on a lot of people's minds this weekend. Basketball Mania is Total Media / the Telegram's electronic and paper contest for the NCAA March Madness
Yes.
NCAA Men's Basketball Tournament. Our contest is underway as well, so a lot of people like to jump in on this. Totally free to do. It is online at yourtotalmedia.com/basketballmania. So it's free to jump on there. A total of $600 in cash to the top predictors. I think it's $300, $200, and $100 for first, second, and third place. You can also do it through the traditional newspaper. We will have the brackets in Wednesday's edition of the Telegram. You can clip that out, mail it in. You can also drop it off here at 708 East Main Street. A lot of people, do that, but it's also so easy to do electronically, and you can do that right now because the brackets came out last night after the selection show, and so the big thing is only one entry per person, and you have to get your entries in, whether it's electronic or through the mail or in person. You have to have them by noon Thursday because that is when the games begin. Don't be confused. There's a couple play-in games earlier in the week. But whoever wins that occupies one single place on the bracket for games that begin Thursday or Friday.
Yes.
So that doesn't matter. You don't have to get them in before those play-in games are played, but you do have to get them in, once again, by noon on Thursday. And we've had literally hundreds of people jump in on that. So whether, you don't have to be a great college basketball knowledge person. Who knows?
Listen, just guess.
Right, exactly.
You have just as good a chance as anybody.
Right, we do want to tell you real quick, we will have this story out too. Red Thompson Jr. did some super work on Friday running this story down. But in Vinton County, the South Central Ohio Job and Family Services Building, Vinton County is part of a multi-county JFS situation. And their local office for the South Central Ohio Job and Family Services office is in the Vinton County Business Park just north of MacArthur. They had some major water damage a couple weeks ago, and the commissioners had an emergency meeting this past Friday afternoon address the issue and kind of sort things out. And, they're still figuring things out, but they do say it's safe in there, but they're going to have to do some major repair work, assessment, and then repairs following up. One of the Serve Pros, I think, out of Columbus is going to be doing major work, but for a time, while they're in transition on this assessment and repairs, at least some of the people there at that office, and it's a Job and Family Services office, so a lot going on, they will have to work out of modular units that are going to be brought in. So, that is an ongoing story, but we do have an initial report that we'll have out in Wednesday's edition of the Telegram.
Okay.
Also, we do want to say this really quick. We're going to have a column that I wrote in Wednesday's paper honoring the late Roger McNamara. Did you know Roger?
A little bit, yes.
Well, I tell you what, the more you know about him, the more you respect the man that he was. A true American hero, did so much for military service at high levels. A lot of people maybe did not know Roger. We have his picture, Adrian, if you could put that up there. Roger McNamara. But he died several weeks ago, but they had to celebrate. There he is. I wanted you to see the picture because you see that face.
Yep.
That grin.
For sure.
That is his personality.
Yep.
You wouldn't know that he flew 100 combat missions in North Vietnam back in the Vietnam War. You wouldn't know that he was involved in the Cuban Missile Crisis back in after he got out of West Point. But a distinguished military career as I've ever heard of for a local person because he wasn't from here, but he moved here after retirement with Sally Jones, his wife, who was from here. But they had a great celebration of life, and a lot of people were there. And I tell you what, if you're an American and you have any respect at all for what the military does, you want to read about Roger McNamara and the sacrifices that he made. He died at the age of 86, but some of the cause of his death had to do with injuries from his military service, even though he did live to see the age of 86. So we will see you tomorrow, and we'll have more news then. How's that?
There you go. All right. So we want to thank our guests for coming in today, our friends from Zip Printing, and also John Pariseau, and of course, our good friend Pete Wilson here. So have a great day. It is St. Patty's Day. Put your green on. Go out. Eat a Reuben or fish and chips or something.
Now, you can probably find one somewhere, I imagine.
I think you can find it at the 6 Cents Brewing Company.
Okay. I set you up, didn't I?
Thanks.
Okay.
I appreciate that,
right.
Pete. Just softballed that right in for me.
Okay, that's all right.
You're a good pal. All right. Well, have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you right back here in the morning. Bye-bye.